Welcome to the Introduction to Business 216 Microcomputer Applications. I like to call it Fun with Computers class here at Highline College. Now in this video, I'm going to give you a tour of our people.highline.edu/mgirvin website that contains all of our videos and files. And I'll give you a tour of our Canvas website. All right, the very first thing that you will need to do is read the syllabus. You click on this link and read the syllabus. We'll actually go through it together a bit, but you're going to have to read it because the first quiz has some questions about the syllabus. Then you watch this class introductory video, which of course has no link right now because I'm shooting the video. And then later we'll come and see each one of these sections of our class, whether we're studying Excel or Word or Windows Explorer, has its own section where we go to watch the videos. Now, the first thing I want to do is click on the syllabus and go through the syllabus. Now, the syllabus and schedule is not over in Canvas. It's here at the people.highline.edu/mgirvin website. All right, let's click on the syllabus. There's a table of contents at the top. Later, if you want to look up something in the syllabus about testing or quizzes or jump right to the schedule, this table of contents here contains hyperlinks. So if I click on the schedule, it jumps right to this section here, and there's the schedule. Now I'm going to use the home key to jump to the top. In browsers, the home key jumps to the top. Now getting started in this class, that's reading the syllabus, watching this video. Now requirements for this class: you must have a PC computer. You cannot use a Mac for this class. Now, the reason is most businesses use a PC Office version. Not only that, but in the last 5 years, Microsoft has added all sorts of amazing features to Office for a PC computer, but not for a Mac. So we can't use a Mac for this class. You have to have an internet connection, of course, to watch the videos that will be at YouTube. And you must have a computer with Office 2016 that contains the programs Access Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. Now, Office Professional 2016, that's what they call the disk version. It's hard to get the disk version anymore. So what you'll probably be buying if you want to have the right Office on your home computer is Office 365 and then Office 2016. Now, the Office 365 just means that you download it from Microsoft online, and Office will update automatically. Bottom line, there's lots of different versions to buy. If you want it for your home computer, it's got to be for a PC, and it's got to contain these 4 programs. Now, there's no textbook for this class, which is great news. All of the content will come from the video lectures and the handouts and files that I create. Now, a note about this: this is fall 2017 that I'm filming this video. I'm actually filming all the videos and authoring all of the downloadable notes and files this quarter. So if you go to our website, and I'll actually click the back button. Right now, the only videos, if you click on Windows Explorer, the only videos are the first 3 videos for week 1 and then the files that you download. If I click the back button in my browser, there's nothing for Word, PowerPoint, Excel yet. These will appear as the quarter progresses and I create the videos and files. I'll click back on syllabus and schedule. Another requirement is that you have to have a USB drive or thumb drive. We will actually create a system of folders and store all of the files we use in one place on our jump drive. And you'll need to bring it to class each day if you're in the in-class class. Another requirement is you must know how to type quickly and know where most of the keys on the keyboard are. You don't necessarily have to know how to type properly, but if you don't really know where the keys are or you're struggling with typing, then you should probably take BTech 101, which is a basic computer class, or one of BTech's typing classes. This class is specifically created to teach you how to use the programs Windows Explorer, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Access. Now, you should probably have a standard keyboard. if you're going to be working out there in the business world, especially in Excel and Access, you need to have a standard keyboard with the number pad. That's for entering number. The arrow keys, navigation keys like home and end, and definitely the F keys like F2 and F12. Now, you might have a laptop and your configuration might be totally different. And in fact, there are hundreds of different keyboards. But you got to have F keys, and you got to have navigation keys like arrows, home, and end. Now, this is a Surface laptop computer. Here's the F keys up here, but guess what? You have to click the FN function button to access either the F2, F12, or any of the other F keys. Also, the arrow keys would be down here. Navigation keys like home, end, page up, page down are listed up here. The problem with this keyboard is if you're really entering a lot of numbers, which is the case in a lot of Excel and Access business projects, having a number pad is much faster than trying to type up here. Now we'll scroll down. If you don't have the right Office version or keyboard or whatever it is, Highline's official policy is to provide students with computers with the correct Office version and whatnot in Building 30. Now, we also have two class websites, which we already mentioned. The People site, I'll always refer to this as the People site, has the introductory video, the syllabus, all the videos in downloadable files. The Canvas website will have announcements, especially for online, discussion area, which is for all of us. And this is where you go to take a quiz. There's no projects for this class. Some of my other class has projects. And Canvas will have our test upload links. Canvas also has a grade section that shows you the points you earned for either quizzes or tests. Now, Canvas, unlike the People website, this is only available during our particular quarter. The videos and files and everything, this website's always available. So even a year from now, if you want to go look up that Excel video, you can come back to this website because it's always open. But the Canvas site for us is going to be open from September 25th, the first day of school, to December 13th. After December 13th, it will be shut off. All right, scroll down. Structure of the class. There's no textbook for this class. That's great news. You don't have to spend $200 to $300 on a textbook. All the content will come from our People website with videos and downloadable files. Now, each day, for example, in your in class, you'll come to class, we'll do a project, and then you'll go home, have some video to watch and some assigned homework for some of our areas of study. Whereas for our online class, you will always just go in and watch the videos. Everything we do in the class is also in the videos and vice versa. Now, your grade will be determined only from tests and quizzes. That means completing video class projects and assigned homeworks. That's just for practice for those tests and quizzes. The key to the class is to watch the video lectures and practice what you see. Now, homework, kind of loosely stated, that will be watching the videos. If there are assigned practice homework problems, you do those. But again, the YouTube video project and assigned homeworks are not handed in to the teacher to earn points for a grade. All right, let's scroll down. Here's some notes about tests and quizzes. Be sure to study this carefully. But the difference between tests and quizzes is tests, I'll send you a file by email. You'll have a certain amount of time to complete this, and that's listed in our schedule. And the test will require you to create a Word document, like a business letter or an Excel budget or something like that. Not only that, but tests, when it's emailed out, you'll have a certain amount of time, and you'll have to do it during that time. Quizzes, on the other hand, there'll be 5 of them, 1 for each program that we study. And unlike the test, there are suggested dates in the schedule at the end of this syllabus. You can actually do the quizzes anytime during the quarter. However, it is much smarter. As soon as you're done studying, go and take the quiz. And the schedule is straightforward. It lists the day that you should go and take that quiz. Now, both the test upload links and the quizzes will be over in Canvas. And one more point about tests. Tests and the dates, the send out dates and the upload dates will appear later in the syllabus and the schedule. You cannot do a test early, and if you hand a test in late, you lose 25% of the points. Now, of course, makeup tests are allowed if you have a documentable emergency like a death in the family or a hospital visit or something like that. All right, tests and quizzes, be sure to study that. Canvas gradebook is not correct. What do you mean? Well, the points are correct. So if it says you got 82 points out of 100 on your test, that's correct. But the percentages are not correct. And this is true for all your Canvas classes. If it lists a percentage, it means the percent grade for your completed assignments. So if you only completed 5 assignments and there's 5 left, you might think you have a good grade, but that percentage grade is not correct. So only the scores for each assignment are correct. I will actually grade at the end of the quarter. I'll download all of the scores, and I will do the grading outside of Canvas. Here's how I'm going to grade. It's pretty straightforward. And here's the percentage correct and your decimal grade. All right, let's scroll down. Cheating, of course, is not allowed. Be sure to read that. You don't want to hand in anyone else's work or copied file or have someone help you. Last day of the class, since quizzes and even late tests can be handed in at any time, there's our cutoff for all work in this class. Now, emails. Emails are only for when you have personal issues or you have a question about a test or a quiz. Now, down here it says announcements and discussion area in Canvas. When we go over to Canvas, I'll show you about the discussion area. That's where you post questions. But if you have a personal issue or a question about a test or quiz, then you use email. You cannot post a question about a test or a quiz in a public area like a discussion area. All right, there's my contact information, including my office hours, access service, incomplete policy, important dates. You can look through all of those. Not only that, but you want to read through all of these. These are the course outlines and student outcomes. And here's the full list of everything. You do want to read this or at least have the syllabus next to you when you are taking that first quiz. The first quiz will be about Windows Explorer and the syllabus. Read all of this. This is actually a great list that tells you everything that we're going to do in the class. Now, here's our schedule all the way at the end. There's week 1 to 5, and then down here, week 6 to 9. It looks like there's a holiday on 11/23. Our class, of course, meets this quarter. When I'm shooting the video, if you're watching this video a different quarter, you'll see different dates here. But this quarter, the class is meeting Monday through Thursday. Now, there's a bunch of columns here in the schedule, and you just, for each day, you see what to do. There's the video, video number 1. It will tell you if you need to download a file that goes along with the video. Now, there's other files for notes that you download after the video. But if you need a particular file like an Excel, you might have a start file that you need to open before you watch the video so you can follow along. Then it will be listed there. Assigned homework problems, they'll be listed here. There's no downloadable files for the videos or assigned homeworks for this first week. Suggested quiz date, there it is, Thursday, 9/28/2017. Again, that date is for fall 2017. It says very clearly, quiz 1 covers the syllabus and Windows Explorer and should be suggested taken on 9/28 Thursday. Test send-out day on Thursday, the last day of this week, in the afternoon around 3 p.m., there'll be an email, and it will have your test instructions. You'll complete it, and this one must be uploaded before midnight, Sunday, 10/1/2017. Now, the rest of this is not filled out yet because I'm filming the videos and creating the files. And by the way, it takes a huge amount of time to create all of this. So I'll barely be getting it out by the Monday. Sometimes I might even have the video done for this day, and then the next day I'll post it. So you will have to keep coming back to the syllabus and looking at this updated schedule. No printing this out because it's going to change this quarter. Other quarters, if you see that it's completed, then you can print it out. All right, that's the end of our syllabus. I'm going to click the back button. Now let's go look for our Windows Explorer area, I'm going to click on this, and this is where our videos and files are. For every video in this class, it'll say Video Class Project 1, 2, 3. Later, there'll be number 4 for Word, and so on. That's the video, and we'll click on it in just a second and see. This first one's 42 minutes long. There's no start file. It says none. There's no finished file. None. Finished file just means, like if we're over in Excel and we're creating a budget, there might be a start file that I give you, and we work a long time creating the budget. And so after I finish filming the video, whatever that file looked like, I will post it as a finished file. Now, every single video will have a handout to download, and that's a PDF file. These are awesome notes, in essence, that summarize everything you see in the videos. Now, let's click on this video because we've got to see what happens. When I'm going to click on it, it'll go to YouTube.
Right below the X version.
I'm going to click the pause button, and it's great. You have a rewind button. So if you're studying this and you don't get it, you rewind. If you're in the in-class version and you don't get it, you go home and watch it again. So we all know how to use YouTube, I'm sure. You click play. You can slide this back and forth. You can make it a large screen. You can reduce it back down. Very importantly, below the video, for every single video in this class, if there's a start file or a finish file or notes, there'll always be a link here so you can download the file directly here. Also, there'll be the class website. Like if I click on this, it goes back exactly to that section of the class. I'm going to close this. If I click this file here, it opens up the PDF. I'm going to close that. We'll look at that in just a moment. Another important thing over here in YouTube, that show more. Let's click on it. This has a time hyperlink table of content for each video. It describes all of the topics in this video. If you want to jump just to the section about the ribbon, then you would click on this 1936.
Also, the ribbon structure.
And it jumps just to that part of the video. Now, this is great not only if you're watching it and want to jump to some part, but imagine you're trying to do a quiz or a test, and you said, oh, I forget what M means for file name. Well, you could open this up, click on this, jump to just that part of the video. Now, this is a slightly different view than you would see. This is because I'm the author here that it says Edit. All right, I'm going to click the back button, and that gets us back to our class website. When you're downloading these, or if you just click on it, PDFs open up in a browser. I'm going to click the back button. These notes are handy to have, when you're doing a quiz or a test or something. Also, if you collect all these and have them stacked up at the end of the class, that is a free book all about Office. Now, if I want to download it, I right-click, and I'm going to click Save Link As. Now, I'm using Chrome. You probably should use Chrome, too, if you want to follow along exactly. But there's other browsers, Internet Explorer, Mozilla. Each browser, when you right-click, might say something different. It might say Save File As, Save Link As. But here it says Save Link As. If I click this, we can download it. Now, in the very first video, I actually do this with you and show you the importance of Save As. But you might not have Chrome set up to automatically allow you to save it where you want. So I'm going to click Close. You want to be sure, if you're in Chrome, to go up this dot, dot, dot. Click on that. Down to Settings. Over here to Settings. Click on that. Down here to Advanced. Down here to Downloads. And you want to make sure, ask where you want to save each file before downloading. Be sure and say, please ask me. That's going to be really important in this class. All right, so we changed the setting there. I simply close this. And now when I right-click Save Link As, it will show the Save As. All right, so every section of the class, whether it's Windows Explorer, Word, Excel, will have videos, files to download, and if there's assigned homeworks, they'll be listed here. I'm going to click the back button. So that's our People website. Let's go look at Canvas. I have it open here. I'm in a slightly different view than you because I'm the author of this. But everything's in the Home tab, or almost everything. This it says getting started. That just jumps you back to the other website. Now again, I'm creating this class in fall 2017. So this is the first week and I only have week 1 done. Later it will say week 2, which will have Word, week 4, which will have Excel, and so on. But notice for week 1, it only says syllabus and Windows Explorer quiz and test 1 upload link. That's all that's here because everything else is over at our People website. So you click on that and it will give you instructions. There's the instructions. If you're not ready after reading them, you click the back button and don't take it yet. Similar to the test 1 upload link, you click that. And I'm in the wrong view, not the student view, but it will give you an opportunity to upload a file. I'm going to click the back button. Actually, I could go to student view, and here's what you see. Home. There's the link. So if I click on test 1 upload link, I click submit assignment. And there is your opportunity to choose a file and upload it. Please always leave a comment like, here's my test or something, or man, this is more fun than I thought. Now, in student view, there are discussions. I'm going to leave that. Discussions, you can click here and post a question. Now, if you're asking a question about Word or Excel, and it's a technical question, when you type your reply, also attach the file. It's much easier for me to help you solve a problem in Word or Excel or whichever program if you attach the file so I can take a look. So there's discussions. Now grades, you can click there and look at your scores. And we're not using Google Drive. So that's all there is, the home area. Discussions and grade. All right, so that is your introduction to Business 216. Now you can go and start studying Windows Explorer. All right, we'll see you next video.